All right, greetings, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of To The Point. How you doing, Miss Kathy?
I'm good. Yourself?
We're doing pretty good. We're getting ready to wrap up our fourth in the series on mental health, talking about Headspace. And in the comments of this, we're going to make sure and put a link. We did a whole series, a weekend series, on these very same verses. And what we did was, we got the videos, we got the resources. If you want to take this a step further, we'd like you to do that. But before we get started, if you're listening to the last episode, it was almost an interruption because Kathy got distracted. Saw something through the door. And now we would like to welcome to the Point platform. If you guys would step around here. This is the newest pastoral family in our network. Yay. Hey.
Nathan and Haley.
This is Nathan and Haley Addis. No relation.
No.
Well, he's mine. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. You guys, I'm going to step out of the way, or lean out of the way. Kathy and I will. You guys use each mic. Give us a little update. You guys are doing some great stuff in McPherson. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. McPherson, God is seriously moving there. And I know that he's moving because I knew nothing about church planning before we got there. And what I know is still minuscule, but he has grown what we've been doing over there to such an incredible degree. I mean, we've been able to have our first Christmas Eve service. We had our first Easter service. We had 20 baptisms in a calendar year. He has just been doing some incredible work. And if you'll be praying to that effect, he continues to open up doors and start ministries. We're knocking on the door of a youth ministry, and we're getting ready to kickstart our college ministry.
Yeah,
so
that's exciting.
Things are moving, things are growing, and God is good.
Haley, how is it like taking care of a young Addis man trying to learn how to do ministry?
He does pretty well for himself these days, I will say.
That's a very generous answer. It's a very generous answer.
I do enjoy getting to be there and support him. And again, it's just been a really beautiful picture of what the church is supposed to look like.
Amen.
We keep talking about how it feels like what we imagine the church in Acts 2 feels like. Like people are taking care of each other. They want to spend time together and just find ways to glorify the Lord.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Now, you had an outdoor baptism early on, and how many did you baptize that day?
We baptized 12.
12 that day, and then you had another indoor, because you're in a rental facility, so every time you do baptism, you got to do them in bulk.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
It makes some of those special services difficult because we're in a historic theater, which is great, but that does mean that we are in the most flammable and water-sensitive building possible, so we can't do baptisms in there. Our candlelight Christmas Eve service had to be LED candles, but it all worked out, and so we've had to be creative with some of those things. But again, God has been good, and He's blessed every step of the way.
Well, man, we just thank you. I know it's kind of unorthodox, but we saw you out in the hallway. You almost came in to see us. We thought we got to use you guys. So, shameless plug. If somebody wanted to check out services, how do they get in touch? Where do they go? What do they do? What time and stuff?
Absolutely. All of that information is going to be current and updated on our website. So crosspointchurch.com. You can find us in the location tab. And if you just want to come check us out.
And the location is McPherson.
Yes, location is McPherson. We're meeting at the Opera House. That specific location will be on the website, but our services are 10 a.m. on Sunday, so we would love it if you would come check us out. We'd
love it too. Awesome. Well, congratulations, guys. We're so proud of y'all.
Great job.
And get a To The Point shout out for Crosspoint Mac. Well, thank you, guys. We're going to get back to business. Y'all be good. We'll see you at the house.
Yep. See you then.
Back at the
Bye,
ranch.
guys.
Back at the ranch. All right. That was fun. We've never had a drop-in like that on To The Point.
We had celebrities in the house.
Celebrities. I love every bit of it. Okay. Well, we need to get back on track, which is the fourth edition of our Headspace series. We've been going through the Philippians chapter 4, starting from verse 4 all the way down to about verse 9. But what we've most recently been doing is the list. Right. Verses 8, basically verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable. He says, think on these things. Now, we want to wrap it up because he gives a couple of summary words. And as he does, he also takes us to a place where he says, now, what do you do with this? It's one of my favorite questions in preaching and teaching, the so what. Okay, this is all good stuff, but so what? What do I do with this? How does this make a difference in our lives? It's really important, and the spark for this episode, the reason that we want to do this, is that good theology that never moves your feet eventually just becomes bad ideas. You say, oh, that's great theology, but it didn't do anything. So in your heart and your mind, it goes, well, nothing changed. It just was this idea I had.
Yeah.
Paul doesn't say just think. He says practice, and we're going to see this. Let me give you a quote. Dallas Willard is one of my favorite discipleship gurus. He's a theologian, and he's written a lot of good stuff. He said, grace is not opposed to effort. It's opposed to earning. So a lot of people say, well, I don't need to do anything. Christ will do everything for me. Yeah, grace did everything for you.
Right.
But on this side of the cross, you're a disciple. And what's another way to pronounce disciple?
Discipline.
Discipline, yes. It takes discipline to be a disciple. You still have the same grace, but now we walk with him and for him. And this is what we're getting ready to see as we wrap up this. So would you read for us verses 8 and 9? It's going to include the list and then the wrap up. And then I'm going to read it again as well. You're in the New Living. I'm going to read it in the English Standard Version.
Okay. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you. And it's marked up so much it's hard to read.
Yeah, I'm looking at, I don't know how you tell the difference between the text and your scribbles, but that's awesome. So let me read the same verses, and then we're going to get to a quick study. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you.
Now, you started, for the record, in verse 4.
Yeah, I started way up. I gave the whole passage again, yes.
Okay.
So after the list, he has this list, and you say, well, no, there were two more on the list that I've been listening that we didn't cover. You said if there's anything excellent, if there's anything worthy of praise. The rhythm breaks up. Think about whatever is. And then those last two, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise. A lot of people say that those are umbrellas. That all of those other terms fit under anything that's excellent, anything that's worthy of praise. What that tells us then is don't be a legalist. It's not just these things on this list.
Gotcha.
Right? If there are things that are excellent. Now, he gives you a list and says, this is the direction of what excellent is. If there are things that are worthy of praise, this is the direction of things that are worthy of praise. So there's more that fits under that umbrella that we could think about, and we should be thinking about, but not necessarily are they separate elements of excellent or worthy of praise. So we think about these things. And when I says think about those things, what it's actually asking us to do is to ponder, meditate, make sure that we do. A lot of stuff we just know, but we never even really thought about it. Have you ever gotten asked a question before where it said, why'd you say that? Why'd you do that? And you go, I just have always said that. I just have always done that. And Paul says, think about it.
So no just knee-jerk reactions.
Why do you go to church? Oh, I've always gone to church.
Yeah.
Why do you believe in Jesus? I grew up believing in Jesus. And he says, no, it's not an acceptable answer. Think on these things.
Oh, that's so good.
And so we need to ponder and keep our thoughts in that right space. And then when we start to ponder them, we start looking. And do you know what these become? Whatever is good, whatever is just, whatever is, all these become guardrails for our life. And we realize I'm dwelling on something on the other side of the guardrail. That's not a safe place to be driving.
Yeah.
I'm dwelling on things outside the playground. And God has given me this list. God has given me this direction because when I get depressed or when I get anxious or when I get fearful, it's because I'm playing outside the boundaries. I'm outside the safety of where he told me to be. But if I will set my thoughts and keep my thoughts on these things, it's in that space. Now think about this. You say, well, that's God putting you in a box. You have complete freedom inside those parameters. You have complete freedom to go outside them as well. But if you want the peace that goes beyond, if you want joy that goes, then in this box, yes, there's a safe place to play and a difficult place to play. But if you stay in the safe place, you have complete freedom anywhere in that box.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I think it's a great metaphor to think about. God's the principal, and we're on the playground, and the fence is there because he says, it's recess. Just play.
Yeah.
Just play. But if you go outside the fence, that's where the danger starts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. My mind went immediately to the music I used to listen to before I became a Christian, and I know that is outside of my fence for me, because when I hear it, my mind starts going back to all of those things that I used to do that were not pleasing to the Lord. And it's not that I want to do that stuff anymore. It's that I start thinking about either when I feel guilty because of who I used to be, or the enemy tries to tell me that, oh, this is enticing. You really want to do this again? And I'm like, no, I don't. But so then it becomes this inner turmoil that is
Right.
unnecessary.
Right.
And it's just because I choose to listen to whatever that music was. But at the same time, God has given us as believers, there is Christian music that will edify and glorify the Lord in every genre. Like there's if you liked that kind of music, then you can find that kind of music that can be good for your soul, that can be excellent and worthy of praise.
And we're not here being judgmental, saying if you listen to this, then you're going to
No,
hell.
not at all. For me personally, I know that where it takes me.
And it's not just you. Let's be honest about it. What he's saying is, if you're struggling with your headspace, then this is,
Yeah.
you either do what the doctor says or you don't do what the doctor says.
Right. Medicine will work if you take it.
That's it. That's it. And so this is not being legalistic, but if you say, I'm just anxious, I'm fretful, I'm worried, I'm angry, I'm hurt, well, he says, here's the pathway to peace.
Yeah.
Here's the pathway to peace.
Yeah.
All right, let's use the same passage, a few more words, and then these words are going to cover two last thoughts, but they are this, verse 9. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things. So think about them, yes, but the next step,
Do it.
Practice these
Yeah,
things.
practice.
What does yours say in that?
Practice
It says
all you have
NLT
learned.
as well. You see, the right thoughts. If you think a thought long enough, that thought will push you to action. You can't not do something if you think about it all the time. It will happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, eventually.
Sinfully as well.
Yeah.
You think about it all the time, you put that in your head, it's going to happen sooner or later. But same with these excellent and praiseworthy things. Put them into action. Theology becomes methodology, right? You can believe something all you want, but that belief only translates to a true act of faith when you practice that belief. That's what faith is, to lean upon.
Right.
And so one of the things we have to do is we have to push these thoughts into action. So you go back through that list, whatever is true. Well, how do I put truth in action? Truth is just a thing. Well, you pronounce truth and you quit believing the lies. You take action by removing things that lie to you and maybe standing up for truth. That's one way to put truth into action. Whatever is honorable. Brother, bring honor back. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I know it's kind of crazy, but open doors for people. Give others the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Respect is not to be earned, it is to be given.
Yeah. That's so counterintuitive to what I was raised with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very biblical.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
biblical.
100%.
And so we put these things into practice. We do something with them so that the things that we think then grow hands and feet and can make a difference.
Yeah.
All right. And then this is, well, wait, I got it before we go on. I almost missed this. Did you see how many ways he said this? Whatever you have learned, whatever you have received, whatever you heard, or whatever you have seen. Now, let's just talk about this. How do we take things in? I'll be honest with you. There have been very difficult centuries for believers. The church has primarily been an auditory church for the majority of its existence. You came and you listened. And for a long time, it wasn't even in your language, right? You listened in Greek or in Latin. And anything you
hard.
could learn. Well, then they came to the era of cathedrals. And now you could see some things. There was an architecture that tried to draw you to the awe of God. And we do that today. I know people get upset with PowerPoint. The same people got upset with PowerPoint were the same ones who'd be upset over the first stained glass in a church window. It's because it's new, but it's
Right.
a way of communicating what
Yeah.
you have heard, what you have seen, but even more than that, what you learned and received. This is all about the different learning styles of believers. And it's sad if you get in an environment where, just read the Bible, just read the Bible. Well, the Bible's great, but some people literally would need a miracle of the Holy Spirit to get something out of
Right.
reading. So what do? We have an app. It reads the Bible.
Yeah.
So you can listen to it if you
Amen.
need to do that. But then beyond that, I love this. Whatever you have seen and heard in me, this leads to the third point. You need to model your thoughts after a mentor. What does Paul say?
Choose wisely.
Look at this. Because we see learned, received, heard, and seen in me. In me.
Saw me doing.
This is a need. Every human being needs to model. We need to be modeled, and we need to see models, and we reproduce at that level. And I think this is such a beautiful bridge for us that Paul isn't trying to tell us to try harder so God will love us more. He's inviting us to practice this peace. And in so, he says, there are people, you got pastors, you got leaders, you got family. Somebody is a step ahead of you.
Yeah.
And let them step up in your life and be that model. So what he says, whatever you've learned, received, heard, or seen in me, that leads us to this third point. Not only should your thoughts push you into action, but you should be looking for someone to model after, someone who
Yeah.
can mentor you, have conversations with you. And in that, the peace of God is what he promised at the beginning of this passage and at the end. And the peace of God will be with you. I love it because peace isn't something that you stumble into, right?
Right.
Peace is something
It's
that
intentional.
It goes beyond understanding. It is a gift of God, but it's not an accident, right? Not an accident. So this has been quite an incredible journey.
Yeah.
That we take all these things and we want the peace of God, but now we put them into practice. We put them into practice. So what would be our 2 cents on this? I think if you've been moved or encouraged by any of these singular words, honorable, just, pure, that you look and make a game plan. And you say, how can I live this out regularly? And then verbally ask for the peace of God to come into my life.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're at a place where you say, I need that mentor. We have groups called multiplier groups that just people get together and they study the Bible and they're reading it right fashion and they encourage one another. Grow groups are that same place. Or maybe you just know somebody that you say, I love watching your walk in the faith. I love how you treat your family. I love the marriage that you guys have. Can you just pray with me? Can we just walk together for a while and pick a mentor?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, not every time, but 9 times out of 10, you pick a mentor, they're going to be shocked and go, I don't know what I have to offer you,
Right.
but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. That was actually what I was going to say.
Oh, I
is
stole
that
your 2 cents.
No, I think it's great because we're thinking on the same line, but having the courage to go up and actually ask someone to be your mentor and maybe with the caveat that it's not going to be forever if that's not for this season in my
It's a
life.
season, yeah.
In this season in my life, I just need somebody to help me walk through parenting, to help me walk through this new marriage, to walk through this new job opportunity. I mean, something that is God has put on your heart that you need help with, or just somebody that has been there and that you have watched their lives, not because you heard so-and-so say something about them, but because you have witnessed God in their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Well, and let's talk about this thing as well, because I don't want to set anyone up to fail on either side of this. And this is gonna be awkward to say, but a lot of people are like, well, I would love for Pastor Andy to mentor me. Well, we have 4,500 people that we see every weekend, and I would love to do that. If I could reproduce, we would do that. You don't need a Pastor Andy. He's nothing special. I got to be honest with you. Now, if you're going into ministry and want to be a pastor, and this maybe we need to spend some time together. What I'm talking about is somebody who just has the handles on some things that you look at and go, I aspire to that. What I'm saying is that you don't have to get in line and wait forever, that there is real hope that you can find a mentor who is near you and would do you much better because of their accessibility and their realness to your circumstance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you in that way.
Yeah.
This is not me trying to get out of anything. It's just I know the last time we did something like this, I got so many requests to do that, and a mentor should take some time and energy, and so they got to carve out some things, and it's going to be good, but don't play to models in your head that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Right. Just be open to what God's going to do.
Yeah.
So exciting. This is the end of our first major mini-series of 2026. We're talking about getting your headspace right. If you want to take it further, make sure you go and look at the entire video series we did as a weekend teaching. We'll connect that and make sure that you have the opportunity to be invested. Kathy, what are we doing next? We're going to do something on family and parenting, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We've had so many people ask us to do that. We haven't got it figured out, but we'll get it figured out.
Well, we've been down a road or two.
That's right. We love you guys. Can't wait to talk to you again real soon on another episode of
To the Point.